Here, I have a fragment with a headline that reads, "Hide and go seek and find." The body of the text is short, and it reads as follows: "Seek into you and shall find in you too." That's it. Hide and go seek and find. Seek into you and shall find in you too. Now let's get cracking with it. Let us begin, not with the noise of declarations, but with the silence of recognition. A silence that descends not because there is nothing to say, but because something wants to be heard. Something has been knocking, softly, gently, for a long while. The fragment before us is not a riddle, it is not a maze, it is a mirror. A mirror, yes, but not one of silvered glass. No, this mirror is made of movement, of turning inward, of motion into the self. It is a mirror that only appears when the seeker begins to seek. And so we are told, in the first line, seek into you, not seek within you, which might suggest passive introspection, not seek around you, which would keep us tethered to the world of objects and circumstance, but seek into you. Into, as in, pass through the outer layer, as in enter, as in descend. This is an imperative line, a command, but without force. It does not yell, it does not demand, it simply beckons. To seek into oneself is not a casual pastime. It is not meditation light. It is not the sugar-free version of spiritual enlightenment. It is dangerous. Not because the self is a dungeon of demons, though it may well feel that way at first, but because once the true self is sought, the false selves must fall, and they do not go quietly. To seek into yourself is to violate the borders of your own ego's narrative, to question the script, to dare to ask, who wrote this part of me? Did I write it, or did I memorize it to survive? When a child plays hide and go seek, the premise is simple. One hides, another seeks. But the game inverts the world. For a time, everything becomes about what is not seen. What is missing becomes central. What cannot be found becomes sacred. And so it is with the interior search. You must begin not with the polished image you show others, nor even the rehearsed monologue you give yourself in your mind each morning. You must begin with what is hidden. That's where the seeking begins. Now we move to the second line. And shall find, not might find. Not hope to find, but shall find. This is not merely a continuation. It is a promise, an inevitability, a law. In this simple construction lies one of the oldest principles known to sages, mystics, philosophers, and children alike. That which is truly sought is already bound to be found. Now, this does not mean you will always like what you find, nor does it mean you will recognize it immediately. Often, the finding is delayed until the seeker is ready to see. But the act of seeking itself initiates a chain reaction in the cosmos, small at first, but unstoppable. The act of turning inward is a kind of alchemy. It releases something from within that was waiting for just such a gaze. But be warned, finding in the spiritual sense is not the same as locating. You may find something not by uncovering it, but by becoming it. You may not find a buried treasure. You may find that you are the treasure. But only if you sought with your whole being, not just your thoughts. Let me pause here and tell you something true. There are many who do not seek, not really. They may dabble, yes. They may meditate, journal, speak of soul and presence and depth, but their seeking is half-hearted. It is decorative. It is seeking as ornament, not as act of war. And I do say war, because seeking into oneself, truly, honestly, bravely, is war against pretense, illusion, inherited beliefs, and cultivated cowardice. It is a war that makes no sound, but which rages beneath the surface. And so, when one hears the phrase, seek into you, it may land like a feather, but it is in fact the unsheathing of a sword. Now to the final line, the most mysterious, the most revealing, in you too. Ah, here it is, the twist, the mirror turns, the seeker becomes two. What does it mean? Let us be very careful now. The grammar is important. The phrasing is sacred, not in you too, but in you too, as in inside you too. This is no longer a solitary seeking, no longer a singular you. For the one who seeks into the self and shall find, discovers what? That there are two in there. But who are these two? The self and the soul, the ego and the essence, the child and the adult, the seeker and the one who was waiting to be found? Yes, and yes, and again, yes. This line opens a door to a startling but ancient realization. You are not one. You are two. This is not a declaration of pathology. It is not about dissociation or psychological disorder. It is not illness. It is revelation. The human self is a braid, a union, a dialectic. Always two, if not more. The old soul who remembers, the frightened child who trembles, the warrior who does not speak, the joker who pretends not to care, the mother you never had, the father you keep looking for, the witness who has never once been fooled, all of them in you. But here, in this fragment, we are told that the moment of finding reveals the existence of two, as if the very act of seeking pierces the illusion of singularity, as if the you that seeks finds not an object, but a presence, another presence, one that was waiting, one that is not exactly you, but is not you either. Let us say it this way. The you that you are is not the only you in there, and perhaps never was. And so now allow me to say something strange, but true. You are being sought by the very thing you are seeking. And when you truly seek into yourself, you will be found, not by yourself, but by the other one in you. There are implications to this, great and vast and cosmic. First, you are not alone, even when you are alone, especially when you are alone. The one in you, the second you, is still with you, has always been. But it is not the kind of companion you can manipulate. You cannot lie to it. You cannot impress it. You cannot seduce it with achievements or credentials or charm. It sees through all of that. It was there before any of it. It does not care who you think you are. It only waits, and not passively. It waits the way a parent waits for the child to finally ask for the truth. It waits the way the sun waits behind the clouds, not absent, only veiled. It waits the way the original name waits beneath the false ones you've worn. And when you seek into yourself, truly, that second one steps forward. Not to scold, not to shame, but to welcome, to recognize. And from that moment, you are no longer alone. You are two, but not in conflict, not in contradiction. You are two in the way a seed is two, one that sleeps and one that grows. You are two in the way music is two, the note and the silence it rests on. You are two in the way love is two, the one who gives and the one who receives. And sometimes, you are two in the way a prayer is two, the one who prays and the one who listens. Let us not run too quickly from this last idea, for there is one more mystery hidden here, and it is this. The second you inside is not merely another version of you. It may be that the other one in you is the divine one, the eternal, the soul, the unbroken strand that has been pulled through every incarnation, every forgetting, every sorrow. And when you seek deeply enough, bravely enough, to find not a psychological pattern, not a memory, not a trauma or a victory, but to find this other presence, then the game is over. You are no longer playing hide and seek. You have been found, not by someone else, not even by yourself, but by that which knows you, that which has known you since before the first word you ever spoke. So what do we do with this? We go quiet. We go still. We stop seeking in the outer world for things to fix our pain. We stop demanding that the world confirm who we are. We stop performing. We seek into ourselves, not to disappear, not to escape, but to find, and not just find something, but to find the second one, the one in you, the two. And when you do, you will not be alone. You will not be afraid. You will not be hollow. You will know. And that knowing will be the light that you carry for the rest of your life. And one day, when someone else asks you, "Where do I go? Where do I find truth?" you will smile and you will say, "Seek into you and shall find in you too, and you will mean it.